Okay, we have two examples here that we're going to work through. So this is division with decimals, and the two examples look very similar, but they're going to get quite different. So answers. So let's look at the first one here on the left. So we're dividing 0.8 by 0.04. Okay, so the trick we do here is we move the decimal point in the divisor over until we have just a whole number left. So in this case, maybe I can zoom in here. We do the following. So I'll do it in red. Let's make my pen a little smaller. So we're going to take the decimal and we're going to move it over 2 decimal places. Okay? So we can ignore all of that part and we're just left with 4. And if we do that for the divisor, we have to do it for the dividend. So that would be this decimal point. Oh, I didn't want to draw a line. We want to move it over 2 decimal points as well. And since we don't have any more numbers, we're going to add some zeros. Okay. So again, we can ignore this leading 0. Although you don't, well, you know what? Let's just leave it for now. Okay. So what do we do next? Well, we 4 on the divisor right here. And what we're left with here is 80. So we're going to ignore this decimal point here, and we're just going to have the decimal point that I drew in red. Okay, this is looking very messy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write it over again, okay? So we now have 4 instead of 0.04, and for the dividend, we have 80. Okay, so let's look at this. Notice something here, and that is that the divisor is smaller than the dividend. That means that we should get a number when we do the division greater than 1. And in fact, that's what we get. So let's do that. So how many times does 4 go into 8? 4 goes into 8 exactly 2 times. We multiply 4 times 2 to get 8. We subtract 0, 0. We bring down the 0. 4 goes into 0 exactly 0 times. And now we're done. Well, we could keep going. 4 times 0 is 0, and we subtract, and we get 0, remainder. So 4 goes into 80 20 times. And in fact, the original question, 0.04, goes into 0.8 the same number of times. So the answer up here is 20 as well. Okay? So we got a number bigger than 1, which is what we expected because the divisor is smaller than the dividend. Okay, so that is that question. Let's go over here where we have reversed the divisor and the dividend. So now we have 0.8 is going into 0.04. And like before, we're going to move the decimal in the divisor until we get a whole number. So that would be moving it over 1 place to there. And we do the same for the dividend. Okay, I'm going to do the math right here. So what we have now is we have 8 for the divisor, and we have 0.4, here's the decimal place, for the dividend. So let's do the math. Okay, so how many times does 8 go into 0? It doesn't. We can put a 0 up here. How many times does 8 go into 4? It doesn't. So we can put a 0 up here, and we need to add another 0. How many times does 8 go into 40? Now we could do something. 8 does go into 40 exactly 5 times. So 8 times 5 is 40. We could subtract we get 0, and we can stop because the remainder is 0. Now the question is, where do we put the decimal point? Well, the decimal point goes straight up from where it currently is. Remember, we moved it, so it goes straight up to where we moved it to, from where we moved it, and we get the answer 0.05. Notice this is a number less than 1, and that's because the dividend, the dividend is smaller than the divisor, so we should get a number smaller than 1. So let's look at these two questions. They're similar in that they have the same numbers, but we'll reverse the division, and in one case we get an answer of 20, and in the other we get an answer of 0.05. Thank you for watching.